inside. She got the scoop on the ones to watch, on the ones that's hot. No one can do it quite like Caroline.
Well, hello, Brandi Cyrus.
Hey girl, what's up?
So happy you're here.
I know, and I just saw you last night. Briefly.
Briefly.
Yeah.
You have been on a world exploration.
Yeah.
Tell me about your travels, because this is an exciting thing. You just happened randomly.
I know. So I'm always usually traveling back and forth to LA and New York just for work and stuff. And it's been years since I had been overseas. But when I was younger, little known fact, I used to play guitar for Hannah Montana back in the day.
I did see you have like a Brandi cam at Hannah Montana too.
Yeah, there
where
you
you
go.
went around and did behind the scenes
I
stuff.
did some Hannah Montana stuff back in the day. And
So would you go touring with Hannah Montana?
So before she was with Miley Cyrus and she was just Hannah Montana, I was her guitar player for the Hannah Montana band, and I got to travel in Europe with her a lot when I was much younger.
Oh my gosh! So you saw it all. Where were your favorite places?
We did mostly Europe is what we did, like London, Paris, Berlin, Munich, like random European cities is mostly where we went. I've been to Italy on vacation with my mom, but I haven't been overseas in so long, and I've been itching to. And then literally out of nowhere, my brother Brazen, who out of all of us is probably the most talented. We all say this. He's so talented, and he
In what?
doesn't really do anything. And that sounds really bad, but he's only 23.
Is he talented in music?
Oh, everything. He went to film school for a year,
Okay.
like made some insane film. I was like, how do you know how to do that? And then music, he can play any instrument, plays by ear, has a great voice.
Really?
Has a little bit of an interest in acting, and anytime he puts himself on tape, he kills it. I'm like, how do you kill everything? Because he doesn't go to acting class. He doesn't take lessons to play music. He can just naturally do it all. It's insane. But he lives
maybe
here
it's in
town.
y'all's genetics, because all of you
But
guys
he's
are.
got it the easiest. I had to work really hard to learn guitar, and I had to work really hard to act. And he just can naturally do all these things. So anyway, he lives here now. He moved here about a year ago.
Well, according to the season finale, every Cyrus lives here but Miley, and y'all are trying to persuade her of your new show, Cyrus versus Cyrus. Season finale.
Okay, I guess I can tell you. I mean, she hasn't closed on it.
Okay.
But she made an offer on a house a few weeks ago when she was in town in Franklin with some property.
So your plan worked.
So the plan worked, yeah.
Which we have to get into that, but
she has the guest house, which she loves, but when she comes with Liam, and I mean it's a lot to be in that tiny little barn. So it was so funny. Last time they were here, he works out every day, and he was working out in the yard because he couldn't in the house because it's so small.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I think it's time we get something bigger if we want to be here more.
I love it.
So she made an offer on a house. Hopefully,
Okay.
fingers crossed it goes through and she closes and she wants to be here a lot more.
Heck
So
yeah.
Everybody's here.
Okay, so we're going to talk all about Cyrus versus Cyrus, your new show on Bravo. Okay, but back to Brazen.
Back to Brazen. So Brazen, who just sits at home and grows his own herbs and chickens and eggs. He's such a little just homebody. He really is. He got just this random phone call to walk in the Dolce & Gabbana fashion show for Men's Fashion Week in Milan.
Has he been pursuing modeling?
No.
Of course, you're of course Brazen got the call.
Of course. So when he was younger, living in LA, I'm talking 5 years ago.
He's like a blessed one, right?
He is. He signed a deal with Wilhelmina in LA, but I don't think he ever worked one job. He got offered plenty of things, and he was just like, no, I just want to play music, or no, you know what I mean? No, I'm in film school right now. So he never really did anything with it. But if you Google him, I'm pretty sure what pops up are his headshots and some photos that he had taken. So I don't know if somebody Googled him or what, but
how do they find him?
Don't know. Someone reached out to my mom and was like, hey, we're trying to get a hold of Brazen's representation. We'd like him to walk in the, I forget what they called it the millennial something show for Dolce & Gabbana. And at first my mom was like, is this real? I don't know. So
Is this a scam?
I'm signed to Next Model. So I had my agent look into it for him. And it was 2 weeks before the show. And they were like, yes, it's real. We have other boys walking in the show. We can negotiate his contract if he wants to sign to us, blah, blah, blah. So it's modeling contract signed, done. Dolce & Gabbana show booked. And they offered to fly him and a guest, business class or whatever. And since I've done Fashion Week a lot and everything, my mom was like, you should take Brandi and you guys can go. And so we went. It was the best time ever. The Dolce show was so cool. They had 100 and some boys walking in this show.
Was Brazen nervous? Because
he wasn't.
Who is this person?
He is so crazy.
He never done a runway show?
I was like, should you practice? He was like, no. He was like, it's walking. It's fine. It was so
he
crazy.
just doesn't worry.
And he killed it. He did great.
I need to take a lesson from him.
Yeah.
He just doesn't stress.
No.
No stress.
So chill. He's so chill all the time. But anyway, so he killed it. It was a cool show because they did have models walking, but they also had just other cool guys, like a couple of Puff Daddy's kids that we know from LA.
Oh,
they were randomly
cool.
there, and then this guy Avin that we're friends with, who's a director, he was walking in the show. So it seemed like they made it a point to have other guys in the show that aren't just models, which I thought was really cool for a high designer to do. You don't really see that a lot.
I just can't believe the first show is in Switzerland, Dolce and Gabbana, and he's just like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So because we were all the way to Milan, he was like, I don't want to just go there, fly all that way and just come back in 2 days. So we asked them to just like fly us out 3 days later, and we decided to go to Switzerland together. And I booked us this little like trip to Interlaken, and we had the best time ever.
What was your favorite part?
So I loved the lakes there. They're turquoise. Have you seen them?
Yes. Well, I've been there in winter, so it's been kind of cold. I don't know if I've gotten.
I tell you, these lakes like are turquoise. I've never seen anything like it. Like it does not look real. Like even after being there 3 days, it still didn't look real to me. So I loved the lakes and just being in Interlaken right there. But then it's all in the Jungfrau mountain region of the Alps, and so you can take a train 10, 15 minutes, and you're in all these mountain villages and towns and stuff. And so on the third day, we went to a town called Grindelwald, and it's on this mountain called First.
I've been there. Yes.
It's my favorite place on earth.
Yes, that place blew my mind.
And we spent our last day there because, long story short, my horse stepped on my foot 2 days before I left town.
Your
and tore my
horse?
toenail off. And so I was like limping my way through Switzerland. And so all the things I wanted to do, like hike and do all the like activities and everything, I couldn't do because I was limping.
So too bad, you just have to drink wine and eat cheese.
And go back. So sad. I'm gonna have to go back.
Yeah.
But I loved it. We took like the cable car all the way to the very top. It took like 30 minutes to ride this cable car, and it was so beautiful. And you're like going up into the mountains, and you can see the little villages, and then you get all the way to the freaking top, and you're just in the clouds. I mean, it was a dream place. And I love to hike and be outdoors, so it was killing me to not be able to do that. But it's somewhere that I would definitely want to go back and explore more.
I freaking love it, and I love how it just happened so fast.
Like that.
And that's your life, though.
Determined. I was like, because like we could have gone anywhere from Milan, And I was like, I want to go to the Alps. I've never been, and it was like I made it my mission to go. And I actually reached out to Interlaken Tourism, so I was like, why not? And I reached out, and they took such great care of us.
That's
they
amazing.
Met us off the train when we got there. They took us and did all like the touristy things. Like we didn't have to pay for any of it. We posted a ton of stuff for them on Instagram because they were so kind. And on top of all of it, like I was expecting some like 45-year-old woman to show up who was heading this tourism board.
Please tell me it was a hot Swiss Alp guy.
I wish. Close. It wasn't that good, but it was second best. It was a really cool girl who was like 26, 27.
Awesome.
And she brought her friends with her, and they hung out with us the entire trip. We had the best time.
So you had like built-in friends too.
Built-in friends. Like I've never met nicer people in my entire life. It's crazy. I was like, y'all have to come to Nashville so I can show this hospitality to you. It's not as cool, but like, please come.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of like your vibe. Life is just cool. Like you have a cool life.
Cool.
Your family's cool. Y'all do cool stuff. So I want to do a little rapid fire.
Okay.
So just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Well, actually, okay. First off, describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh my gosh. Describe myself in 3 words. Outdoorsy. Is that an adjective?
That's awesome.
Outdoorsy and outgoing. I feel like I'm pretty outgoing and laid back.
Outdoors is a big part of your upbringing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because y'all love horses so much, and you have tons of dogs. I saw that your mom, I was watching all your interviews and like stalking you hard, and your mom was saying y'all always were rescuing animals, and you have so many dogs and animals that she had one room of the house that was the white room.
The white room.
Because
no one was allowed in, like human or animal. Like, it's insane.
Because there's so much life running around in the Cyrus clan that she's
true.
like, this is my room. So how did tell me about the dog rescue and all the animals, and where did that love come from?
Both my parents really just like, it's funny, my mom, she was adopted, and she was the only child, so she always had pets growing up and stuff. And my dad, his dad, so my grandfather trains, or he passed away when I was in college, but he trained spotted saddle horses in Kentucky. And so my dad grew up around horses, and from the time I can remember, we've had horses like on our property. We've always lived on land, and my dad's always had horses around. So when I was 5 years old, he just stuck me on a horse, like no helmet, no nothing, and was like, all right, let's go, and that's how I learned how to ride. And we've always grown up with animals. We've had a lot of German Shepherds ever since I can remember.
They're the best dogs.
That's what I have now. I have a German Shepherd Rescue. And I don't know, like, I mean, just any memory I ever have of being a child has been outside with my dad and with the animals, you know. My dad's got a lot of Cherokee Indian in his blood, so a lot of that, like, living out on the land and being connected to nature kind of comes from that. And I'm probably the one that took to the horse thing more than anybody else. The boys rode dirt bikes and I rode horses, and Noah too. She loves horses. And when we lived in LA, she and I competed on the 100 jumper circuit together, and that's how we became so close. But,
that's awesome.
But yeah, my dad's just always taking in animals. Like, I think my mom told a story about how, I think they were in Canada, and my dad rescued these like chickens from somewhere and made my mom put them in her jacket and take them on the plane. And brought them home.
How'd she get through
this must
security?
Have been back when it wasn't as big of a deal. I don't know, because she literally took these chickens or whatever on the plane and like.
Your mom? Did she just go along with it all?
She just goes with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy.
She's like, I'll go with it all, but I have to have my white room.
Yeah, the white room. As long as no one goes in the white room. So,
is the white room beautiful?
It's not even that pretty now. Like, we were just in there filming this show. Of course, they wanted to see it, and I was like, this room's not even that great. My mom's like, it could stand a remodel. I'm like, no.
Well, since y'all are remodeling, maybe you remodel the white room.
She wants to remodel the entire farm. Always.
Okay.
So, I'm sure if we get picked up for season 2, I guarantee you that makes it into season 2.
So, I cannot wait to talk about your show. But okay, first off, celebrity crush.
Today,
yes,
Kyrie Irving.
Who's that?
It's been that for a minute, actually. Kyrie Irving. He plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh, la la. Have we said hey?
I follow on Instagram. I don't know. I don't really know how else to say hey.
Okay.
He's hot though. I don't know. That's the crush of the week.
Okay. Do you like athletes or actors or musicians or?
So, if we're gonna get real,
get real.
Every guy I have ever dated has been a musician. Mm-hmm. I have not ever dated anybody that's not.
Same.
And I'm sure that's just the world I live in. It's the world I was raised in. Whatever. So after the last one, I was like, it's time to change course.
Change your pool.
So yeah, I've kind of been into the athlete thing right now.
Athlete's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll follow you and I'll keep up with it and see what happens. Keep me posted.
I will for sure.
Okay. Yeah. What is your pet peeve?
I probably have a lot of them, but one of them is people that walk right in front of you and just walk so slow and are clueless about it. I'm like, aren't you aware that there's someone behind you that's trying to go somewhere? It's terrible.
And also, like, close talkers drive me crazy too.
Do they?
Yes.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Like, it's a spatial issue. I just need. I think you need some space.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like you should answer these too after I give my answer. It's unfair.
Oh no. So, no. You're
close talkers. I'll keep my distance.
What is a beauty must-have for you?
Like beauty products. Mm-hmm. Eyebrow. Anything.
Pencil.
Gel, pencil. Gotta have it all.
I just started filling in my eyebrows recently.
Really?
Can you believe that?
They look great.
It's a game changer.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, if I can only do one thing before I walk out of the house, it's make sure my eyebrows are even.
Have you heard of the eyebrow tattoo things?
Yeah.
What do you think?
No. First of all, it has to be insanely painful. Mm-hmm. And also, so tattoos, like, I have a bunch on my hands and everything, and anything that you wash frequently or that's, you know, like you getting water on, I mean, you wash your face every day, so I would imagine they would fade pretty fast.
Right.
But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I don't think you need to do that if that's where you're going.
Well, it's because I filled them in so well.
Okay, well, they look, just keep doing that.
Yeah, but
I don't
the
think
tattoo.
You want a tattoo on your face.
I know. It sounds freaky.
Painful.
Speaking of tattoos, what do all your tattoos mean?
Well, so which one did I get first? This one I got first. It's a music note, really cheesy.
Love, though. Well, that's a huge part of who you are.
My self was on tour, and I was on tour. I was with Miley, playing with Miley, and my best friends at the time, and I'm still really close with them, were in a band called Everlife. They were a Disney group back in the day. And it's 3 sisters, and they were like sisters to me because I lived with them here in town for a long time. And they were on tour with us, and so the 3 of them and me got this tattoo together.
Are y'all so close?
That was the first one, yeah. And it's funny because the youngest sister in that group now sings background vocals for Miley.
Well, that's awesome.
She's like stayed in the crew. So
love that.
That's the first one. I think I got this one second. It's a cross. Okay. It says forgiven. And my mom and I got tattoos at the same time.
Does she have that same one?
She doesn't. She got music notes with like a scripture or something on her wrist at the time.
Aw.
So we did that, and then also on tour. For some reason, there's always tattoo artists on tour.
And you gotta get tattoos on tour, right?
Yeah. Miley drew this on my hand with a Sharpie. It's a heart. And was like, I dare you to get that tattooed. And I was like, okay, because there's a tattoo artist there. And my dad did it as well, and my mom, so we all got that.
That's
sweet. Miley's handwriting. And then these 2 were, I don't know, they were just kind of, very like spontaneous
Does it say
tattoos.
hope?
But this says hope. That's a cross. It's kind of self-explanatory.
Love that.
And
you have a
then
feather.
The feather here. My brother Trace has this same tattoo, but his goes from here to here on
Okay.
his ribs, and it's just we're like I said, a lot Cherokee in our blood, so he has quite a few Cherokee-inspired tattoos, and I got this one, and then happened to get a dog years later that I named Feather, even though it wasn't really.
So it's not for
There
your
was no
dog.
connotation, but now I'm like Feather.
Aw.
And then I have one on my ribs,
Okay.
and it's in Cherokee writing and Cherokee language. It says "Spirit of the Black Horse," because when I was a kid, I had a black horse that I got when he was 4, and had him until probably 5 or 6 years ago. We had to put him down, but he was like my childhood horse that I like grew up with.
Oh.
And I wanted to get a tattoo for him, but his name was Lance. And I was like, I'm not gonna remember my
Lance.
ribs. People are gonna be like, you loved NSYNC, so not that much. So I came up with that.
I love
instead.
that.
Yeah.
Tattoos. I have one. It says grateful, but I am
a good one.
addicted.
It's a good one.
I want to get more,
I
but
can't believe you only have one.
wow, it took me 33 years to get one.
Usually once you get one though, it's like
I know.
domino effect and you want more.
I have a major problem with commitment.
Do you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So like that's the thing. I wish they could do like a disappearing tattoo that would disappear after 5 years. Think you could really test it out.
No.
I know you
That
got to
takes
go
the
bigger.
fun out of
I
it.
know you're right. You're right. You're so right because you got to go.
Here's
go
what
for
I
it.
think after having all my tattoos. I think don't get color. Just stick to black ink
Mm-hmm.
or gray or whatever. And I think just keep them small. Because the only one I'm not crazy about that I have is this one, and it's only because of how big it is. If
Let
it
me
was
see this
smaller, I wouldn't be mad about it.
Okay.
But it's very big. That's my only thing.
Okay, I
Small-
think-
stick to small.
Yeah.
Stick to black ink. That's
Okay.
what I think.
I'm gonna file that away.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is a hidden talent that you have? Are all your talents out there? Because you've got a lot of
I know.
talents.
I'm like, I don't know if I really have a hidden talent.
You were also for a minute. You were in a duo. You had a record deal on Interscope.
Which kind of is a hidden talent because no one knows about it, which is sad.
Right. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the girl in that band with me, her brother is actually Miley's guitar player, still is.
Okay.
His name's Jocko, and he introduced us. And I was kind of playing, as Miley's guitar player, like I told you. And then when she started making music as Miley as well, they put together a whole new band for her. And I met Jocko when they were having band auditions, and he was like, "Oh, you've been playing this? That's cool." He's like, "You should meet my sister because she plays music, and you guys should write together."
Okay.
And I had never written before.
Okay.
But I'd wanted to start, and the girl that was living with me at the time, her name's Megan Park. She's an actress, and she knew Cody, the girl Cody. And so it was weird. I was like, "Oh, my roommate knows her. Like, yeah, maybe the three of us should get together." So the three of us got together and wrote a song together. And from there, Cody was like, "Hey, do you guys want to just come and play with me out at this open mic? Like, I just need a guitar player." And I was like, "Sure." And Megan came along and sang harmonies. And somehow out of that, we started this band called Frank and Daryl. And it was the three of us in the very, very beginning. And then Cody and I just started to take it more seriously because we were getting,
getting
interest
some
from people.
momentum.
Yeah, and it just kind of started to happen without us really trying. And Megan was like, "Guys, I'd love to do this," but she was on a TV show full time, and she was like, "I just can't commit to it." So it ended up just being Cody and I, and from there we got the record deal with Interscope.
How was that?
Awful with
Why?
Interscope because the record labels are the worst.
Record labels are tricky, huh?
Yeah, it was not great. It was not a great experience with the label. The experience Cody and I had was awesome, and we spent a year and a half making a record in Santa Monica, and from there we started to tour, and it was right when Interscope was making a lot of changes.
Right.
They Jimmy Iovine was president at the time, and then while
He's not president anymore?
he might still be in
Okay.
Interscope, but John Janik came
Okay.
in. He what was the label? Fueled by Ramen, I feel like is the label
Okay,
he used
yeah.
to head up. He came over to Interscope, and when he came in, like everything just changed.
Right.
And when that happens, a lot of time bands just get swept under the rug. He ended up dropping about 200 artists, and we weren't one of them, but we were one that just kind of got shelved at the time. And it was after Cody and I had been doing this for about 5 years,
Okay.
living off of Taco Bell and living in a van, and it was really hard. And I kind of got to a point where they weren't letting us tour. They weren't putting out a record.
I don't get that. Why have an
don't
artist
know.
signed if you're not going to do
It's
something?
crazy.
What's the point?
I have no clue.
That's the logic I don't understand.
I think $200,000 on our record is the number. I'm pretty sure that was in our deal, and it's like you're gonna spend $200,000 on a record and not put it out. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't get it. I don't get that at all.
Insane. So
To me, I would think if anyone asked me my opinion about a record
Yeah.
label, which no one has, but this is my opinion.
you're like, I'm giving it to you anyway.
I think record label should really sign artists and keep it smaller and
know.
really develop the artists they sign instead of
Well, that's the beauty now. I'm going with the boutique label instead of a major because that's what they do, and that's why they're doing so well now. You know what I mean? They're able to focus on just the artists that they really believe in. So I don't know. We had a mix of a lot of really bad stuff, like bad management. Our management wasn't great.
Right.
Our A&R wasn't great, and it just got to a point where it was the frustration of all of it was causing a wedge between Cody and I.
Okay.
And it just started to get really, really tough. And after we went on the road for about 6 weeks, and we were playing just the smallest venues, under 100 people a night. We weren't making any money, and it got really hard. And what started out as a break and me moving back here to Nashville ended up with the band just breaking up because the label wasn't putting any money behind touring. They weren't releasing our record. And I was like, at the time, I was probably 25 by then, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
So you were living LA, and you're like, I gotta peace out, move to Nashville.
Because I honestly couldn't afford to stay in LA and be in the band. Like, if the band wasn't gonna make money, I couldn't pay rent, and I was like, it's not, we're gonna tour, and at the time it was like, we're gonna tour, and we're gonna live on the road until this works, and I was like, why would I pay $2,000 a month in rent in LA if we're gonna be gone all the time?
Right.
So in my brain, I was dating a guy here at the time, in my brain, I was like, I'm gonna move back to Nashville, I'm gonna pay $500 a month in rent,
Be near your family.
Be near my dad and have somewhere to leave my dog where she has a yard and blah, blah, and be near my boyfriend when I am home, and then when I'm not, we go on the road and I'm not spending a bunch of money.
Right.
And so I moved back and things just fizzled.
Yeah.
It's not that they fell apart and it's not that it was dramatic, it just it fizzled.
Right.
And I started getting offers to do other things, and at that age, I was just kind of sick of living in a van.
Right, I hear you. Sometimes it just runs its course.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of talents, though. So music is one.
Music.
You're also a DJ.
Yeah, which is music.
Which is music, but it's being a DJ is so hard.
It's so fun.
Jen, I was on Amazing Race, and one of our challenges was with my partner Jen, and we had to be a DJ and scratch.
Yeah.
It took us like 3 hours to
scratching,
repeat.
Though, is an art form in its own. I feel like that's completely separate than DJing.
Okay.
Scratching is like, I can't do that.
Okay.
Like, it's completely different. It's like an art form.
What is DJing?
But DJ, it's really just, it's knowing who you're playing for. It's knowing who's in the room, being able to read the energy and kind of feed off of it. It's blending songs together, so you have to have an ear for key and BPM and know what you're doing. So depending on what genre I'm playing, if it's hip hop, I do a lot of beat matching. And if it's not, I just do a lot of key matching and kind of blend and play what people are into. You kind of have to just watch the room and see what makes people dance, and if they're not, and it's like the vibe's going down, then you got to switch it up and either play something more upbeat or a different genre, a different song. But I don't know, it's really fun.
How did you get into that?
I guess so I've been working in fashion for about 6 years, ever since the band stopped.
And tell me what you do in fashion. You're an editor?
Started as a blogger.
Okay.
So that's my fancy way of calling myself a blogger.
Okay.
I'm my own editor of this blog.
Yeah.
So it started as that.
What's the blog?
It's called Style Native.
Style Native.
Yeah. And when I signed my modeling contract, that was a big part of it. They were like, because I had mentioned the blog, I was like, I kind of want to start a fashion blog, and it was right when girls first started to be able to make money and profit off of it.
Yes, off blogging.
And I was like, I should do this. No brainer. I love clothes and I love to write, so I was like, I'm just going to do this. And Next really encouraged me. So when I signed my modeling deals when I started it, and so I would go, a lot of blogging is attending events and networking and blah, blah, blah. And so I would go to these fashion events, and there'd be girls DJing, getting paid a lot more than me and having a lot more fun, because I hate going to events and networking and chit chat. That's not my thing at all.
So might as well be the DJ and have everyone come to you.
I was like, I might as well play that, go somewhere and hear the music I want to hear and have a purpose and get paid more, and it just made sense. And I was like, I know I can do it.
Look at you being smart. You're savvy.
Yeah. So that's how it started. That's how it started, literally. And then I did it twice, and I was like, oh, this is it. I was like, I'm hooked. Yeah.
You loved it. It was love.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. So I just want to make sure I cover all the bases, because you sing, play guitar.
I cannot sing.
You don't sing.
No.
So you're not. So
in
you
my
just
band,
do music.
I did sing backup vocals, but it is A, not that fun, and B, I had to really work at it. I am not a natural singer at all.
Okay, so you like to play guitar.
I play guitar and keys in my band.
Nice.
Guitar is definitely my better instrument though. So yeah, musician, not singer.
Okay.
Can't sing.
Okay. Well, you got the music gene. So you play guitar, you play keys, model, blog, DJ.
Yeah.
And love animals, but now the latest edition, am I missing anything?
No.
The latest edition is this new show on Bravo that is so stinking adorable and fun. Well, I've always really liked your whole family concept because I think y'all are kind of like a modern day Partridge Family.
Everybody says that.
Yes,
That's so
everyone
funny.
from your mom to your dad to every single sibling is doing something so cool and so talented, and y'all really like stick together. I feel like
We do,
which
it's
is
weird.
awesome.
I know it's like it's weird. It's even like when we're all together, it's like it's weird for me. I'm like, man, this is pretty cool that we all like still like support each other and make time for each other and are around, you know.
With so much fame in your family too,
Well, and just a lot going on too. Like we're all just so busy. That
But
it's
you would
amazing that
think,
we spend as much time
yes,
together as we do.
that y'all would be drawn apart or something would happen. How do you guys make it all work? And is it weird being in such a famous family, or is it just normal?
It's normal. Isn't that weird? It's weird that it's normal because what most people don't realize is when I was 6 years old, my dad had the biggest song on the radio.
Achy Breaky Heart.
So to me, this has
that
always
marks
been
time
normal.
in my life.
Yeah.
Achy Breaky Heart, Billy Ray Cyrus
Everybody.
came out. I was like, what is this?
And anyone anywhere near my age would say that, like that's, you know, because I mean at 6 years old, that's when it was on the radio, and I was going to public elementary school, and my dad was super famous. So to me, it's always been normal.
So you didn't really know any different.
Not at all.
Okay, so was it your family unit was intact, but was the world hard? Was the world hard on you, or were you sheltered from all of that, or what was your childhood
I
like?
feel like a little bit of both. Like definitely school was hard, and my parents kept me in public school, which I'm super thankful for. And it's Franklin. I grew up in Franklin, Tennessee. Like the public school system might as well be private schools. But it was hard because even as a young kid, I remember people either wanting to be my friend because of my dad or making fun of me because of my dad. It was one or
Okay.
the other, you know. And not that I didn't have any real friends, but because I did, and I was very fortunate for that. My entire school experience, I had a really great group of friends, but there were always the people that either, you know, wanted to be your friend or wanted to make fun of you and tear you down because of it.
Right.
And I don't know, like, I don't have a ton of memories from when I was younger, but just little things do stick out to me where, like, I remember when I was in elementary school one time and I was getting made fun of for whatever reason about my dad. And I remember my dad telling me, like, well, you should tell them that your parents have a 500-acre farm and you've got horses and dirt bikes and the coolest life ever because your dad's on the radio. So blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, it was always just like, no, my parents never encouraged us to feel victimized about it at all and to just feel fortunate because the thing, you know, the things that made it hard also gave us a great life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And just the adolescent phase. Once you get past that, I feel
Yeah.
like life gets better. But that
It does.
adolescent phase is, people are ruthless.
It was hard, but also as like, you know, school was one thing, and I was very very academic. Like I made straight A's all through school, honor roll, blah blah blah. So I was very serious about school. But then the minute I left school, I went home and played outside until the sun went down with my dad. You know, and rode horses and dirt bikes, and always had extracurricular activities. And when I got old enough, my mom had me in ballet, gymnastics, tap, jazz. I was on the yearbook team. I rode horses every single. I ended up going from trail riding to like taking lessons at a barn, and that's how I got into hunter jumper. And so every day I would go and spend 3 hours at the barn after school if it wasn't another activity. And so that she just kept us really busy, and in that way I feel like I was sheltered from it a lot because I had all these other things, you know what I mean?
Totally.
That validated everything
Yes.
about who I was, other than these people making fun of me or giving me a hard time or sucking up to me or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was it like to watch Miley form?
So it's so crazy how it happened because the year that she was auditioning for Hannah Montana was the year I went to college.
Okay.
So, which sucked because I had applied to go to school. I went to MTSU for a year. And before that all happened, like Miley was just a kid in school and wasn't really doing anything. And then she got that part the summer before I went to college, and they all moved to LA. And I was stuck here going to MTSU.
Oh.
Sucked.
Yeah.
So I hated school, hated college, hated Murfreesboro. Honestly, like I can't even remember that much about that year because I feel like I've blocked it from my
Did
memory
you
because it was
leave
terrible.
after that year?
My mom said I had to stay the year, and I did, and I finished. But like I remember it like the last half, that last semester, like I would just straight up not go to class.
Yeah, you're
I
like-
would show up for my exams, and I passed every class. But I remember being like, I cannot wait till this is over. And the minute it was over, I moved to California.
You're like, bye.
Yeah, so that was tough is because it was kind of all happening and I wasn't really there for a lot
Right.
of it. And then I did move to California, and Miley and I were so close. And so literally my day job was I was a featured extra on Hannah Montana every day.
How
I
awesome
was
was
like
that?
Rico's surf shop worker. and that's how I worked while I was in LA, and my band and paid my bills was working on set for Hannah Montana. So I was with
That's
Miley
awesome.
every day, which was really cool.
That's
so
awesome.
A lot of that, is when she was younger, it was The paparazzi was really insane, and she couldn't drive.
What
so
is
I was
that
the one
like?
driving her around. I mean,
They're ruthless out there,
looking back on it, like, it was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, I remember us, like, we would go into a nail salon and come out, and there'd just be 50 men with cameras just swarming us.
How do they know where you are? They have like a radar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure someone there I'm sure
they
they
get
get tipped off or whatever. We'll pay you to tell us when celebrities come. And in LA, you know, they have laws where people can sit outside your house, whereas here you can't do that.
Is that why there's no paparazzi here?
Yes.
I've been wondering why Nashville's so great. People
the
can
loitering laws are very different in LA, where like at one point, you know, there was a line of 30 cars that would sit outside my parents' house waiting for Miley to leave.
That's
and
scary.
they're
They know
allowed
where
to
you
do
live.
that. Yeah.
I
You
know.
can Google where anybody lives.
Do you have to have like super tight security?
I don't remember us ever having like crazy security, but there was a point where we had a guy with us all the time that was like a trained sniper or something, because I'm saying crazy. Because Miley didn't ever want to feel smothered and want to feel like she had all these people around her and she was never alone, and everything like that was really important to her. So we never had like a huge security team, but I don't know. It is crazy because we were really young. I mean, she was like 14, 15, you know. And
how do you deal with that kind of
that much older
fame that young? Is it just like y'all were geared up for it because your family?
We were a little bit, for sure. But I mean, it's no lie that she struggled with it. I mean, anybody and everybody saw her go through all of her phases she's been through. And I mean, not to blame all of that on celebrity and fame, but that does play into it. You know what I mean? Of course. Like, she spent her childhood on set working her butt off, you know? And people don't really think about that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, the childhood I had where I got to ride horses every day and hang out with my friends and do all these activities, like, she didn't get to do that because she was working.
Right.
You know? Even though it's a dream job, it's still work.
Totally.
And I think people forget that.
People do. People make up all sorts. I feel like people just perceive something and then they have no idea what really is the backstory, nor do they care.
Right.
They just think, oh, that person has everything and I'm just going to be mad at them or whatever.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know.
Okay, so I want to talk about Cyrus versus Cyrus.
Okay.
So tell me about this show and how it came about and how you got into interior designing.
So my mom has done interior design, but as a hobby, really, like ever since I can remember. So like, whereas all the rest of us would be outside, you know, like playing, riding horses or whatever, she would be inside, just redecorating the house just all the time. And it became a joke that like every 2 or 3 years, she would just completely redo her home, and spend an insane amount of money, and like instead of shopping or whatever, like that was her thing. And so, and I even remember too, like as a kid, like she'd go throughout the house every night and straighten all the photographs and make sure everything was spotless. Like her home was like
her haven,
her sanctuary. Like it was just her everything. And I don't know, like, you know, the older I get, the more I turn into her. And over the years, I've picked that up. I mean, I've let her decorate every space from my college apartment to the first LA apartment I had, and she's just decorated every space I've ever had, and I've helped her do it and been there for it, and I've just kind of picked that up. So I bought a house here about 1.5 years ago, my first house in Nashville, and it was a project. It was disgusting. I got the entire thing.
Oh, you did like a fixer-upper.
Oh yeah. It was like literally I had made offers on like 3 or 4 houses, and it was at that time when the market was so hot that they go in a couple hours.
Right.
And you know, I didn't have a cash offer. I put 20% down, but I had a mortgage, and so if you don't have a cash offer and you can't bid somebody out, I just lost everything I tried to buy. So I found this house that was a complete gut project, and it was for sale by owner. Like, I got so lucky because this house wasn't on the internet for a bunch of people to know about.
So you just stumbled across it.
I literally knocked on the door and I was like, I want your house. Like, didn't even really look at it. I was like, I want it. Like, let me have it. You know what I mean? Before they could go and put it online, and that's how I got it. So, bought this house, gutted it. My mom did help me, but I mean, I really did most of the work. I really did. And that's kind of when I was
Your
like,
love came about.
I can do this. Like, I'm good at this too.
Yes.
Yeah. And then then friends would come over and see my house, and they'd be like, wait, can you help me with my house?
So this started the thing. And so then you're like, your mom, and you start realizing y'all have this talent in common.
And my mom was so pumped that
She
I was having.
She's got a friend now.
Like, yeah. She's like, yes. So I don't know, like, it's weird. We've both been approached to do TV before. Actually, for a hot second, I was a TV correspondent, news correspondent for Fuse News.
Oh, awesome.
Which is like an MTV.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I like interviewed artists and bands and worked red carpets and kind of did that kind of TV for a minute. And I've done a little bit of acting here and there too.
You are so talented. You could do so many things.
I just say yes to everything and just
but that's the way to be.
You know, act like I know what I'm doing, and it just happens. So people were approaching me about TV. I got offered to do like this like non-scripted show that I ended up turning down. And we tried to actually fun fact, we tried to pitch a reality show about Nashville about 6 years ago when I first moved back here. It was like me and my friend group, and we filmed a pilot and everything. So
wow.
I've been attached to all this TV, and my mom gets asked to do stuff all the time. And we both just agreed that we didn't ever want to do anything that was about the family.
Totally.
We don't want to do any kind of reality that's about my life. Like, we always wanted it to be something where it was like about something else and we were just in it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just something just with some credibility.
So this
to
was
it.
perfect.
So yeah, so my mom's got a production deal. She's produced like movies and TV for the past several years, and somebody at her production company came to her with this idea of Cyrus versus Cyrus, and they were like, it's you and Brandi, and you compete in home design, and it was right around the time that I was doing my house and everything. And so I was like, she was like, would you do that? And I was like, yeah, sounds great. Like, sounds super fun.
Yeah.
Like, if I was gonna do TV,
that would be it.
Do it with my mom, do it in Nashville,
Absolutely.
and do it with doing something I really
Yes.
enjoy. Great.
And have a purpose to the show.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
So, and she agreed. So we took it and we pitched it around New York. We had like 3 offers right away, and it all just happened so fast for TV.
And y'all went with
and,
Bravo.
And that we did go with Bravo. And that's the thing is, like, all the TV I have been attached to, because I've been attached to a lot of projects that haven't even gotten off the ground, where it's like, okay, we're gonna pitch you as the host for this show, or we're gonna pitch
Right.
you as this for the show, and 3 years later, it still hasn't gone anywhere.
Totally.
So,
So this just flew.
Yes, and at this point I'm like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Like, I really did not think it was gonna happen.
Yes.
And so Bravo bought it, and I was like, it'll be years before we film anything.
Absolutely.
Immediately we start filming. Immediately they're like, yeah, we're gonna put it out in May. Like, it happened so fast.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
What was
crazy.
the best filming, and then we have to wrap up, but what was the best moment of filming, and what was the worst moment of filming?
The best moments is when, so like we have reveal day when it's all done and
That's the
we bring the
best.
homeowner back in. Yeah, that's clearly the best moment because we've slaved away, cried tears of frustration and whatever else, lack of sleep, and then, you know, someone comes back into their house that you've totally redone and they're so pumped. Like, every single person whose house we did, they were so freaking happy at the end of it, and it made it all worth it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm not an emotional person at all, but like I teared up every time because I was like, man, these people are so freaking happy. This is great. You know,
Yeah.
it makes it all worth it. So that was by far the best part. And the hardest part was probably just like the stress we were under of not only doing this job of designing someone else's house. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and
Especially
also-
when it's your house and you mess
Right.
things up or you spend money that you shouldn't have and you're like,
what
oh,
if they
shoot.
don't like it?
But yeah,
And
if
it's
they don't
their
like
money,
it, it's
right?
their money, you know, if they're upset or like what, you just never know. And so you're not only are you under the stress of getting this job done for this client of yours that you don't know, but you're making a TV show. So you're trying to please producers who are trying to make an episode.
And now everyone's
going to
judge your work on.
Everyone's going to, and if we do a bad job, it's not going to fall on anybody else. It's going to fall on Tish and Brandi Cyrus because that's just who it's going to fall on.
That's a lot of pressure.
So it was like it was a lot of pressure, and the time frame we were under, we had 6 weeks to film because my mom had to go be on The Voice with Miley. We had a hard out, and the weather, like we didn't want the weather to get bad. Like there were all these things, so like we were just so stressed to make this all happen within a certain amount of days. But we didn't want to sacrifice on design because we wanted it to be quality, and you know we had to stay in the budget. Like there were just so many things, and you had to look good doing it. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. to get hair and makeup, and then when you get a few weeks in, you're like, do I really need hair and makeup? Like, I'm trying to decorate a house here.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, shoot, I'm going to be on TV.
I need
do
hair and makeup.
So and it's just a lot. It was a lot. And then you're working with, you know, your mom, who is the easiest person to take things out on, and vice versa. So when we got frustrated, we take it out on each other.
Do y'all fight?
We did a couple of times, and we don't really ever fight.
I was gonna say, was this new?
It was
because
very
sometimes
new.
these kind of situations bring out new
Very,
sides.
very new because we never spent that much time
Did
together.
it make you feel
really,
weird
and
when you had a fight with her?
I always felt bad.
Yeah.
I was like, crap. I was like, but she deserves it, but crap. You know what I mean? But it was definitely very tough. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, but seeing it on TV, it's like it's all worth it.
I love it. Is your mom so happy too?
So happy, yeah.
I love it.
It's a dream come true for her.
Because this is her life
her thing.
now actually being revealed.
Literally, like it's always been her dream to have her own interior design show and line, and hopefully
Now
down
y'all
the
can
road
start
we
a
do
fashion,
that. Yeah.
like a home
That's
line.
what we want to do. So yeah, we're starting the steps on that for sure. So that's literally like a dream come true for her. And for her, she's spent her entire life managing Miley and now Noah and working for everybody else, you know, which she loves. But this is really the first thing she's had for herself. And I think she just it's literally a dream come true for her. You know?
How cool that you got to do that with her.
I know. It's cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up
'Kay.
with Leave Your Light. So just
what's
leave
that?
some inspiration.
Oh.
You've had such an amazing life. You've seen so much. You've done so much. Just leave some inspiration of how you have been inspired or would like to inspire people.
I would just say, from somebody that has been, it's weird. It's like I'm an outsider in this inside entertainment world.
Okay, wait, break that down.
I know that probably doesn't make sense to everybody else. Like, oh, you're an outsider, but you know, I'm not the huge celebrity, and I'm not like whatever, but I've kind of always been in this celebrity world, and I've lived in it and grew up in it or whatever.
Do you like being the outsider?
I kind of do, because what I've learned, and it's not just for Miley or my family, it's just being in the entire, I've just seen so much of it. What I've learned is that money and fame do not make you happy.
True that.
And it's a lot of hard work, and it seems great, but it's tough. It's a tough life. And it's not to say that everybody who's in it isn't super blessed and so grateful, but it's very hard, and it doesn't make you happy. And the minute you sacrifice the things like friends and family and loving other people and being a light to other people, the minute you sacrifice all that is the minute that you lose everything. You know what I mean?
Wait, that's like an aha moment. Like if I was Oprah, I would be like, tweetable moment.
That's
so true. When you give up your heart values.
It's true. Because yes, I love DJing, and yes, I love being on TV and being able to do things like that. Yes, I love all that. But what truly makes me happy is riding my horse and hanging out with my dog and hanging out with my friends and, you know, and just, I don't know, like serving other people and just loving other people. And I love seeing other people succeed because I could connect them with some, like the minute you forget what truly matters and you think like, oh, the fame makes me happy or all this money's gonna make me happy, like that's just when it all goes downhill. And so for me, it's just very important to remember what is important and what life is really about, because it's not about making money and it's not about being famous.
Drop
That's
the mic.
what I would say.
Brandi Cyrus in the house.
And it doesn't mean you can't do those things. Doesn't mean that you can't make money and be on TV. It just means
don't have that as your.
That shouldn't be what makes you happy, and that shouldn't be what's most important.
Okay, I freaking love it. You got to write a self-help book also.
Should I write a book?
Yes, yes. Maybe like the outsider on the inside.
Yeah,
call it that.
Maybe one of my co-writers.
Yeah,
like why not?
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the experience, but I'll like do whatever. I'll cheerlead.
Yeah, I feel like you could. I feel like you got a little experience in there.
I got some good insight.
I got a little insight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks,
Brandi, you are
So fascinating and amazing, and just a bright light.
No, so are you.
Oh,
Let's be friends and hang out all the time.
Well, I got your number, so I'll call you.
Yeah.
Okay. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in.
There's cameras everywhere.
Teal Audio's newest speaker line, the Aurora Livestream speakers, are designed to fit seamlessly into your home with its wide range of connectivity. To check out the latest speaker line, go to tealaudio.com.